If someone asked you to write a really big check, you'd probably ask, what's it for? Where's the money going? Well, the Trump administration and Pete Hegseth just asked for the biggest check in history for the Pentagon from you and me, American taxpayers, and they cannot answer that question because the Pentagon can't pass an audit. It's like getting a massive credit card bill and logging onto the website to see what is this for, and there's just a big shrug. The credit card company says, we don't know, but pay for it anyway. That's ridiculous. And it's why I've teamed up with progressives and conservatives to introduce the bipartisan Streamlined Pentagon Budgeting Act. It will limit a lot of the frivolous spending, the extra spending that goes to your bottom line because it's taxpayer dollars that we cannot afford to give to the Pentagon when we've got so many needs at home. Now, this was also a big week for the Supreme Court because they canceled TPS, temporary protected status, for 20,000 Haitians and 4,000 Syrians who cannot go back to a safe country because their countries are so unsafe. Our own State Department, under Secretary Marco Rubio, says Americans can't travel there. And yet this same administration, this same corrupt State Department says, yeah, but if you're a Haitian American, Syrian American, go back to those places. And by the way, go back for people who lived there once. What about the 10, 14-year-old Haitian American kids who've never been to Haiti in their lives, but are being sent back home with their parents? That's ridiculous. If it's not safe for Americans to go there, it's not safe for Haitian Americans, Syrian Americans to go there, period. It's cruel, it's inhumane. And that's why I have introduced a piece of legislation to overturn what the Supreme Court just did. Because the Supreme Court said we don't have the power to rule over this. We don't have judicial review. So I already introduced a simple piece of legislation, the TPS Relief Act, to simply say, no, you do, and you must. You must assess whether the administration is making the right decision, which by their own criteria, they're clearly not. Think about how many Americans are going to lose health care coverage because they count on Haitians in nursing homes, in hospitals, to do that critical work. Think about how many people may get killed. We just lost dozens of Venezuelans who were deported into an earthquake and died within a week of getting there. This is cruel and inhumane. It needs to end, and that's why I am taking action and making sure the Supreme Court actually does its job. The other thing that the Trump administration is doing is saying that federal grants should be awarded not based on merit, but based on politics. That's wrong. It's politically corrupt. It's anti-democratic. That's what authoritarian regimes do, and that's why authoritarian regimes have never had as good science and technology as the United States of America. Apparently, Trump wants us to be more like communist China or Russia rather than the United States of America. And so I led the entire Massachusetts delegation in saying, this has got to end. We put a letter out to the administration saying, this is wrong. Go back to merit-based decisions when it comes to science and research and the research grants that go out to states all across America. So those are a few of the things going on this week. I hope everyone has a wonderful 4th of July, celebrates America's 250th, and remembers the core American values that have always made us free. And remember those values even in the face of an administration that wants to corrupt them, corrupt our country, and throw out the Constitution every single day. We'll stand up and show what patriotism is really all about.